What if I told you that by embracing just 15 minutes of silence daily, you could transform your life in 30 days? At 80 years old, I've discovered a secret that's worth more than any fortune: the paradoxical power of silence and fearless action. Are you ready to unlock the potential that's been hiding within you all along? Now, before you dismiss this as the ramblings of a senile old man, let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly experienced silence? Not just the absence of noise, but a deep, resonant quiet that penetrates to the very core of your being. In our world of constant chatter, endless notifications, and ceaseless mental activity, true silence has become as rare as a pristine wilderness. But I, in my 80 years on this earth, have discovered its transformative power. And I'm here to share with you the most profound secret I've uncovered in all my decades of living. The path to a life of extraordinary fulfillment, unshakable peace, and limitless potential lies not in accumulating more, doing more, or being more. It lies in the art of being silent and acting as if you have nothing to lose. This might sound counterintuitive, perhaps even absurd, in a world that constantly urges you to speak up, stand out, and make your mark. But I assure you, within this paradox lies a truth so powerful that it has the potential to revolutionize your entire existence. Are you ready to embark on this journey? To delve into the depths of silence and emerge transformed? To learn how to act with the fearless abandon of one who has nothing to lose, and in doing so, gain everything? Then let us begin. In the twilight of my years, I've come to understand a profound truth. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of infinite possibility. It is the fertile void from which all creation springs, the blank canvas upon which the masterpiece of your life can be painted. You see, young one, in my 8 decades on this earth, I've lived 1,000 lives. I've known the exhilaration of success and the bitter sting of failure. I've loved deeply and lost profoundly. I've seen empires rise and fall, and witnessed technology transform the world in ways that once seemed like science fiction. But through it all, one truth has remained constant. The most significant changes, the most profound revelations, have always come in moments of silence. Now, I know what you're thinking. Silence? In this chaotic world? Impossible. But hear me out. The silence I speak of is not just the absence of external noise. It's an internal quietude, a state of being where the incessant chatter of your mind subsides, and you connect with something greater than yourself. In my younger days, I was much like you, always rushing, always striving, always reaching for the next big thing. I filled every moment with noise, the radio in the car, the TV at home, constant conversations, endless to-do lists running through my head. I thought this was living. Oh, how wrong I was. It wasn't until I reached my 60s that I stumbled upon the power of silence. It happened quite by accident, really. During a particularly stressful period in my life, I found myself retreating to a small cabin into the woods. No electricity, no phone, just me and the vast, silent forest. At first, the silence was deafening. My mind rebelled against it, filling the void with worries, regrets, and fears. But as the days passed, something remarkable happened. The noise in my head began to subside. In its place came a clarity I had never known before. In that silence, I began to hear the whispers of my own soul. I reconnected with dreams and passions I had long forgotten. Solutions to problems that had plagued me for years suddenly became clear. It was as if I had tuned into a frequency of wisdom that had always been there, waiting for me to listen. But here's the thing. This wasn't just some fleeting epiphany. As I continued to cultivate silence in my life, I noticed profound changes taking place. It was as if the very fabric of my reality was shifting, aligning itself with my deepest truths and highest aspirations. My health, which had been declining, began to improve dramatically. Chronic conditions that had plagued me for years began to disappear. It was as if the silence was allowing my body to hear its own innate wisdom, to heal itself in ways that modern medicine couldn't explain. My relationships deepened and flourished. As I became more centered and present, I found myself connecting with others on a level I had never experienced before. Conflicts that would have once escalated into arguments now dissolved in the face of my newfound patience and understanding. Career opportunities I never dreamed possible started to materialize. It was as if the universe itself was conspiring to support me, opening doors I never even knew existed. And when challenges did arise, as they inevitably do in life, I found myself navigating them with a grace and ease that amazed even me. But more than these external changes, it was the internal shift that was truly revolutionary. I no longer felt at the mercy of life's ups and downs. Instead, I found myself riding the waves with a sense of trust and surrender. Challenges that would have once sent me into a tailspin became opportunities for growth and learning. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's all well and good for you, old man, but my life is different. I have responsibilities, deadlines, a family to support. I don't have time for silence. But that's where you're wrong, my young friend. You don't have time not to embrace silence. The busier you are, the more you need this practice. It's not about escaping your responsibilities. It's about approaching them from a place of clarity and inner strength. Think about it this way. Have your best ideas ever come when you are frantically trying to think of a solution? Or have they arrived in those quiet moments, in the shower, on a walk, or just as you're drifting off to sleep? That's the power of silence at work. When you allow yourself moments of silence, you're not being idle. You're allowing your mind to integrate information, to make connections, to tap into a wellspring of creativity and insight that is always available, but often drowned out by the noise of daily life. Start small, 5 minutes each morning. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and simply breathe. Don't try to stop your thoughts. That's a fool's errand. Instead, observe them without judgment. Watch them float by like clouds in the sky. As you make this a daily habit, you'll find that accessing that inner quiet becomes easier, even in the midst of chaos. You'll develop the ability to create a bubble of calm around you, no matter what's happening externally. But here's the real secret, the nugget of wisdom I want you to take to heart. As you cultivate this inner silence, you must also learn to act as if you have nothing to lose. You see, fear is the great silencer of dreams. It keeps us small, trapped in comfort zones that are anything but comfortable. But when you've touched that place of inner silence, you realize a profound truth. You are so much more than your fears, so much greater than your limitations. In that silence, you connect with your essential self, the part of you that is eternal and unbreakable. And from that place, what is there to fear? What is there to lose? When you act from this place of fearlessness, miracles happen. Doors you never knew existed suddenly open. People are drawn to your quiet confidence and inner peace. You become a force of nature, unstoppable in your pursuit of what truly matters. I've seen it happen countless times, not just in my own life, but in the lives of those I've mentored over the years. I remember a young woman, much like yourself, who came to me at a crossroads in her life. She was successful by all external measures. Good job, nice house, stable relationship. But inside, she felt empty, unfulfilled. I taught her the practice of silence, encouraged her to act as if she had nothing to lose. Within a year, she had quit her soul-sucking job, started her own business doing work she loved, and found a partner who truly understood and supported her. Was it easy? Of course not. Change never is. But it was so worth it. The joy and fulfillment she found were beyond anything she had imagined possible. And that's what I want for you, dear one. I want you to experience the fullness of life, to know the joy of living in alignment with your truest self. It all begins with silence. Now, I'm not promising that embracing silence will solve all your problems overnight. Life will still have its challenges. You'll still face obstacles and setbacks, but you'll approach them from a completely different perspective. Instead of being knocked off course by every difficulty, you'll find yourself grounded in an unshakable inner peace. You'll develop what I like to call emotional elegance, the ability to experience your feelings fully without being controlled by them. This emotional elegance will serve you well in all areas of your life. Your relationships will deepen as you bring more presence and compassion to your interactions. Your work will flourish as you approach it with clarity and purpose. Your health will improve as you release the burden of stress and worry. But perhaps the most beautiful aspect of this journey is how it ripples out to touch the lives of those around you. As you become more centered and peaceful, you naturally bring a calming influence to your environment. Without saying a word, your very presence can soothe tense situations and uplift those who are struggling. You become a living example of the power of inner silence. People will be drawn to your energy, curious about the source of your peace and vitality. And in this way, you become a force for positive change in the world. Now, let me share with you a deeper truth about silence and fearless action. When you cultivate inner silence, you begin to realize that your thoughts, your fears, your very sense of self, these are all transient phenomena. They come and go, like waves on the ocean, but beneath these waves lies a vast, untroubled depth. This depth is your true nature, and it is from this place that fearless action arises. When you act from this place, you're not driven by ego or fear. You're not trying to prove anything to anyone. You're simply allowing the natural expression of your deepest self to flow through you. This is what it means to act as if you have nothing to lose. Because in truth, your essential nature can never be lost or damaged. This understanding liberates you from the tyranny of others' opinions. It frees you from the need for constant validation or approval. You begin to live from the inside out rather than from the outside in. Your actions become authentic expressions of your true self, rather than reactions to external pressures or expectations. Imagine for a moment how your life would change if you truly embraced this way of being. How would you show up differently in your relationships? What risks would you take in your career? What dreams would you pursue that you've been putting off out of fear? Perhaps you would finally write that book you've been thinking about for years. Maybe you'd have the courage to express your love to someone you've admired from afar. Or perhaps you'd quit your unfulfilling job to start that business you've always dreamed of. The possibilities are endless. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you act as if you have nothing to lose, you stand to gain everything. But let me be clear. This isn't about being reckless or irresponsible. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest truth. It's about living with integrity and authenticity. When you act from this place, even if things don't work out as you hoped, you'll never have regrets, because you'll know that you were true to yourself. Now, I know this might all sound a bit woo-woo to you. Trust me, I was once a skeptic too, but I urge you to approach this with an open mind. Don't take my word for it. Experiment for yourself. What do you have to lose? Start today, right now, even. Close your eyes for just a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the silence that exists between your thoughts. That's where the magic happens. That's where transformation begins. Remember, you don't need any special equipment or techniques. You don't need to climb a mountain or join a monastery. The gateway to inner peace and limitless potential is always with you, waiting to be accessed. As you embark on this journey, be patient with yourself. Some days, finding that inner quiet will be easy. Other days, it might feel impossible. That's okay. The key is consistency. Return to the practice day after day, and I promise you, miracles will unfold. And as you grow in your practice, remember to act as if you have nothing to lose. Take those bold steps towards your dreams. Speak your truth. Love fiercely. Live fully. Because in the grand scheme of things, the only thing you have to lose is the illusion of who you think you are, in exchange for the reality of who you truly are. Let me share with you a personal story that illustrates the power of this approach. In my late 60s, after I had discovered the power of silence, I was faced with a critical decision. My company, which I had built from the ground up over decades, was facing a major crisis. The safe option was to sell the company and retire comfortably. Many advised me to do just that. But in the silence of my meditation, I heard a different call. I saw a vision of what the company could become, not just as a business, but as a force for positive change in the world. It was a risky move, one that would require every ounce of my energy and resources. I chose to act as if I had nothing to lose. I poured myself into transforming the company, guided by the wisdom I accessed in silence. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, setbacks that seemed insurmountable, but I persevered. The result? Not only did the company survive, but it thrived beyond my wildest expectations. We pioneered sustainable practices that transformed our entire industry. We created jobs that gave people purpose, not just paychecks, and the personal fulfillment I gained from this experience was worth more than any amount of money. This is the power that awaits you when you embrace silence and act fearlessly. It's not about achieving specific outcomes. It's about living fully, authentically, and without regret. In my 80 years on this earth, I've learned that life is too precious and too short to live it halfway. Don't wait until you're my age to realize the power that lies within you. Start now. Embrace the silence, act fearlessly, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, young one, you are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. In silence, you'll discover the vastness of your own being, and from that discovery, a life beyond your wildest dreams will unfold. So, I challenge you, for the next 30 days, commit to spending at least 15 minutes each day in silence. No phone, no TV, no distractions, just you and the quiet. And then from that place of inner stillness, take one action each day as if you have nothing to lose. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel like you're not doing anything. But trust me, in that seeming inaction, the seeds of tremendous change are being planted. As you progress in your practice, you might notice subtle shifts at first. Perhaps you'll feel a bit calmer, a bit more centered. You might find yourself responding to stressful situations with more grace. These are the first fruits of your practice, but they are just the beginning. As you deepen your relationship with silence, you may start to experience moments of profound insight or clarity. Solutions to long-standing problems might suddenly become clear. You might find yourself drawn to new opportunities or relationships that align more closely with your true self. And as you continue to act from this place of inner stillness and fearlessness, you'll likely notice bigger changes. You might find the courage to have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. You might finally take steps towards that long-held dream. You might discover strengths and abilities. Thank you for listening to this old man's wisdom. If you found value in these words, please hit that subscribe button for more life lessons. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How will you embrace silence and fearless action in your life? Remember, in silence lies your power, and in fearless action, your path. Until next time, live extraordinarily.